Welcome to Subramani. Uh, if I were to go for a very short distance, say 1 kilometer, maybe I would walk. If I were to go for 5-6 kilometers, maybe I would take my cycle. What if I have to do 20 kilometers? Maybe I'd take my car, or I would travel by public transport, take a train, take a bus, or things like that. But for none of this, I need any help from any outsider. I don't need. However, if I were to book a ticket to go to Bhubaneswar, I need the help of my laptop. I need the help of my phone. But I would do my own booking. I would go compare airlines, timings, etc., and go. But however, if I have to go to Ladakh and I want to see all the parts of Ladakh and I don't even know what all I'm supposed to see, I'd rather hire a tour guide who will take me there. What am I talking about? I'm talking about saying I will be making my journeys, and each journey I will not follow the same pattern. Now come to the same even in investing. To put money in PPF, I don't need an advisor. I need some advisor who tells me that there is something called PPF. If I have lived under a rock and I don't know what is PPF, then I need somebody to tell me that. But beyond that, to fill up a form, go to the bank and give it, or do it online from the second transaction onwards, I don't really need an advisor. So sometimes you think you can do it yourself, but sometimes you think an advisor helps. So do you need an advisor to suggest which equity fund, which debt fund, or even direct equity, or if you want to do futures and options with your broker, right? So somewhere you might need an agent, somewhere you need an advisor, somewhere you need a guy who will just do the administrative work, and so there is no one single answer. Am I a DIY? Yes, I am a DIY, but I use an IFA, right? I use an IFA for my equity investments, mutual fund investments, and for my equity investments, I use a broker, and I pay perhaps very high brokerage compared to what you must be paying, right? I don't do it through an online broker. I think I need a physical broker, right? So everything has its advantages and disadvantages. You have to know what portion of it you're using. Now let us see whether you qualify in my head as to whether you should be doing DIY, or let us say here is a checklist for you if you want to be a DIY. First of all, you should be interested in this stupid process called investing. It is dull, it is boring, and you don't want to spend your Sunday afternoons and Saturday evenings doing this, then this is not for you. For some of us who like doing this, we may say, oh, it is enjoyable, it is only 5 minutes a month or 5 minutes a week. Bullshit. It is much more time consuming and it is very painful. It is at least as painful as going to the dentist, right? So don't think, or even worse, oncologist. So don't think it is going to be very easy and very simple. It is dull and boring, and you will not enjoy the process. You may enjoy the process of saying I should be so much in equity, so much in this. That is at the intellectual level. At the physical level of going, filling up the forms or doing it online can be very boring, very, very boring, right? So first that. Second, you don't have to understand just picking the fund. That is the stupidest thing which you can ever hear. You need to understand risk, you need to understand return, you need to understand volatility, you need to understand documentation, how to make a will, whether to make a will, when to make a will, who should make a will, right? You have to understand all those things. It's not that you should know how to do it, but you should at least know that you have to do it, right? That itself is, and again, this could be boring and therefore you may not do it. And even the financial experts whom you see, personally their portfolio may be underperforming the index, but it should not bother overperforming the index or underperforming the index as long as you meet your goals. Also, some assets can run up, and when the assets run up and there is a craze in the market, you will find all kinds of justification. Currently, look at the price of gold. This is what gold does. It goes up, it stays steady, does nothing for 5-6 years, and then it does a dramatic spurt. When it does the dramatic spurt, you will hear stories like Buffett has actually underperformed gold, and SPY versus GLD. It is GLD which has done well over 3 years, over 5 years also, it doesn't matter. But none of these matters, because if you were in a portfolio of just gold, You would just look as stupid when the markets go up and gold doesn't go up, right? So you need your asset allocation, but sorry, I'm talking of something else. Do you know all this? Are you interested in all this, right? So, and to learn, you can. How do you learn? You learn by reading. Reading what? Reading blogs. You have no clue why that person is rewriting that blog. Is he writing those blogs to have fun, like I do? Or is he coming there to teach you, or is he coming to sell something? You have no clue on all those things. Bloggers churn sellers very quickly, because ultimately if they've been in blogging, they've built a base of people. Why not sell to them, right? I'm not getting into right or wrong, but those things will happen. So can you read blogs and come to correct conclusions? I have my doubts. But also understand, like I said earlier, there is no all or none. You can use an advisor for some portion. You use a brain surgeon when you have a brain problem, right? You use him for 1 hour, right? And for 1 hour you pay him maybe 2,500, 3,000 rupees, whatever. But you don't have to own a brain surgeon or a heart surgeon. You buy them by the hour. Exactly how you should buy the services. Buy it by the hour and then decide to do it on your own. But if you need, suppose you have let's say you have a 20 crore portfolio that's become big. At that stage, hire one person to look after it at the intellectual level, and somebody who will do the physical transactions. What I mean is keeping everything up to date and all that. Sometimes out of sheer laziness you don't do it, and then you regret. Like for example, I don't think everybody can do an audit and come out and say, yes, my name appearing in the school living certificate, passport, Aadhaar card, PAN card, some 20 mutual funds or 5 mutual funds and insurance companies, everywhere it is perfectly correct. Have you done that exercise, right? So all those things are important, you have to do, but at least you should have an advisor who will nudge you into doing those things. So if you can write your own financial diary, if you can create your own financial investment logic and philosophy, etc., and maintain it properly, and maintain a diary writing down why you bought certain things, why you didn't buy certain things, right? If you can do all that, then you more or less arrived. So understand one thing, having 2 diaries is important. One diary where you write down what you think, why you're acting on certain things, and another diary where you write down maybe what you hear from experts, and check it out after 6 months or 8 months and see how the whole thing pans out, right? So if you can do all those things, if you have the humility to accept that you will make mistakes, and that all big people, everybody makes mistakes. The question is, how much money do you earn when you're right, and how much money do you lose when you're wrong, right? Obviously the right has to be far greater than the wrongs. So if you have the humility to accept that you make mistakes, then if you have involved your spouse completely, which means she knows what you're buying, why you are buying, what you have invested, how it is to be encashed, what is the name of your agent, if you have communicated that very well, or if you can sit and do that with your children, right? Maybe your wife is not interested, it doesn't matter. Spend some time with your children, right? Then do that. When you realize all this is happening, when you also realize that the advisors that you're meeting don't live up to your reputation, don't live up to your expectation, then you have got to look at and say, am I missing something? Have I got the wrong advisor? Why do I have an advisor who doesn't have enough experience? Why does he keep saying that trading is bad and investing is good? Ultimately it is up to us to decide what we want to do, right? So do you also turn out to be an advisor for the family? When anybody wants to invest money, do they come to you naturally? Do they pick up the phone and speak to you? They may not listen to you, that's a different thing, but do they at least consult you? Then it's a good indicator that yes, people think you know about investing, right? More importantly, do you have the discipline, the track record of being disciplined, etc., to be able to be a financial advisor to somebody else? If the answer is yes, then there is no reason why you should not be one, and why you should not be a DIY. But not everybody will pass this stringent test. Make sure you pass really honestly and then take a decision of whether you want to be a DIY. Thank you.